want war with all of
We started a game we never got to finish. Play for blood, remember?
Peace, power, prosperity on this beautiful Friday. Hope everybody enjoying their day, being productive, getting it done, however it needs to be done, when it needs to be done. We are back in the town square where all is clean and all is fair. Ladies, kick up your feet, have some wine, let down your hair. Generals, you already know what to do. Y'all already know. Let me see. Yeah, I'll play that music for today. All right, cool. Rolling. We're about to talk about a very touchy subject, right? A subject that's kind of touchy in society right now, right? And I know why. We all know why it's touchy. It's a touchy thing. Simply because of the way it's painted to be, right? But we have to be clear and concise about these things, to be honest. We absolutely have to be, right? They're different things. They interweave in certain points at certain times in certain sections, but they're different, right? So get your popcorn, get your drink, get whatever you need. I'm about to spin the block for 2 seconds. I'll be right back. We're gonna get the show started here. Quick spinny, we back at it. Everybody be nice to each other. Tell everybody what's up. Introduce yourself, shake hands, high fives, whatever y'all do in this modern world today, but it's a love thing for sure. And we are back at it. Yo, my co-host over there in the corner, still loud as hell. But shout out to Rojo doing his thing, making his little commentary in the background. And let's start off with Zionism, right? Zionism started up in the 19th century. And a lot of times we get it conflicted as a religion. It's not a religion. It's not a religion. It's not a religion. It's not a religion. Nor is it the same as Judaism. A lot of times Zionism and Judaism get interwoven so much that people actually start to believe that they're the exact same thing, and they're not. So let me clarify that point earlier on, so that whole conversation tends to make a little bit more sense and it kind of flows better, right? Zionism is not Judaism. They're not the same. Zionism is highly political, right? It's highly, let's say, nationalistic, right, in its view. And it's nationalistic in the name of Israel. So there are people who are Jewish that are Zionist. And there's also people that are not Jewish that are also Zionists. So you see, Zionist is just a political, nationalistic effort, as opposed to the other two, Christian, right, and Jewish, being religious efforts or religious doctrines that people follow. Quick explanation real quick. We got one up in here. There we go. This is the mod of the year right here. Appreciate all the support, love. Absolutely appreciate all the love. Here you go.
I told you, I'm a man of my word. Where's the Italian?
Currently in the process of making a drop for supers, you know what I'm saying? Tree Fitting, what up, G? Big salute to you, dog. You know it's a love thing, the town square. You ain't no stranger. One's religious and the other one is more political. That's the difference. Okay. Judaism now is very, very old, right? It's a religion, right? That has some, just like a lot of cultures are interwoven with their religion, just like Islam, like how they practice Islam. Their culture is interwoven into their religion, right? So Judaism is the same way. There's a lot of culture and ethnicity intertwined into the religion in itself. And because it's religious, it's not political, right? There's no political agenda in there. There is none. It's not nationalist. It is strictly religious doctrine. And if you think about it in the way how people migrate and people live their life, the people in America that practice Judaism, Jews, right? They're still Jewish, but they don't have to be Zionists. There's people in Israel, right, and in the East that practice Judaism, but they're not Zionists. The same way there's Christians in America, evangelistic Christians in America that do practice, that are Zionists. Sorry, I apologize. That actually do practice Zionism. You dig it? Cool. Let me play this quick vid. LC, what up, beautiful? Hope all is well. Like, share, subscribe. Tell everybody we up in here tripping as usual. Let's hear what Kwame got to say about it. Kwame's an activist, Trinidadian boy. Shout out to the Trinidadians out here. Getting into the mix, you heard? I mean, why is it so low today? Did I turn my volume? I did turn my volume down.
Philosophy, which has brought about the state which has brought about the state of Israel, the so-called state of Israel. This political philosophy has nothing to do with religion. On the contrary, it seeks to confuse others and let them think that Zionism and Judaism is one and the same. I am a conscious African. I know properly my history. I know that Africa gave Judaism to the world. I know that the first Jews in the world were Africans. Not only do I know this, but I inform everyone who has doubts about it to read a book by Sigmund Freud entitled Moses and Monotheism as a beginning. Consequently, I know that Judaism and Zionism are not the same. Zionism had its first organizational expression in 1897 in Bâle, Switzerland, in Europe. Here was a man by the name of Theodor Herzl, H-E-R-Z-L. He was the founder of Zionism. He said that he was going to find the state that God promised the Jews. Listen to this very carefully. This man, Herzl, was an atheist. He believed that there was no God. He said God did not exist. Now, how is it that a man who believes that God does not exist is going to find a state that God promised to his chosen people? I tell you, this man is Satan in disguise. Zionism is a satanic movement. It is devil. It is imperialism. It is racist. It has gone and taken the lands of the Palestinian people and through terror.
Now, pay attention to the words that he's using. He's not saying Judaism. He's saying Zionism. To show that these things are not the same thing. They could be diametrically opposed also. Damn co-host tripping.
Terrorism has driven them out, and through terrorism, it maintains its power. And the United States of America, with over 6 million homeless, sends to Israel billions and billions and billions of dollars everywhere to bomb Palestinian people, while homeless people are here and unemployed are here.
Now look how important what he's saying is, right? Look how important what he's saying is. This was in 1995. 1995. We pretty much just left 2025. At 1995, prior to 1995, the same thing was going on and this happened last year. It's been a non-stop thing in that region. Rojo planning his escape. He by the window too, so.
Zionism is going to raise this war and make the people of America become clear to what it is and become anti-Zionist and stop the aid to Israel and use the money to take care of the homeless in this country. Zionism is a political philosophy which has...
He said this in 1995. So this Gaza, Israel, Palestine, Israel beef, it's not new. It didn't just happen this last decade, right? Boom, yeah. So with that being said, and us comprehending the difference between the two things, I feel like we could push on to the next topic, right? To the next framework of this conversation, which is even in the midst of Zionism, there are Jewish people that fight against it. Why do they have to fight against it so much? It's because it is perceived to be one and the same thing. It's perceived to be, if you are Jewish, then you're automatically a Zionist. But no, there are groups across the planet that fight against this Zionism thing. And one of them being, one of the major groups is the Jewish Voices of Peace, right? They fight against this cultural, the social mating of the two things, because they have to specifically fight against it and denounce it and say that we are not Zionists. Because culturally it's woven together. Socially it's woven together. Conversationally it's woven together. A lot of times people talk fast and just be blasting true conversations, right? Just talking, and you might say Jewish when you actually mean Zionist. People actually stand against this thing. And now more than ever, there's a concerted effort, right? For people are learning more about the differences, right? people are learning and being more clear and intentional about when they use the word Zionist versus when they use the word Jewish. And a lot of times it's not because we're what they say we don't like Jewish people, whatever the case is. Some people just don't know. Like some people are just ignorant to it being a difference. So conversations like this become important, right? Whoever runs across this that didn't know, well then now you know. And for everybody who did know, sometimes you get caught up in the hype too. So maybe this will just refresh your brain, or right, refresh you and keep you like, you know what, that's true. That is very true. It happens to me all the time. Sometimes I forget some shit that's just in the back, right? It's not in the forefront of my thinking processes. It's just in the back, just jumbled up with all the other bullshit. And I hear something, I'd be like, boom, that's true. That's correct. So they push against this Zionistic political nationalist movement, especially when it comes to humanitarian efforts, right? Religious efforts and doctrines, the issues of ethical behavior. As we see right now, there's a big conversation about what happened to Gaza, right? During this unsanctioned war, to be honest, this bullshit. With the how do I word this? YouTube friendly. With the mass involuntarily deletion of the Palestinian people. There's a massive conversation going on about it right now. There's literally documents for the Prime Minister of Israel for war crimes. I should have pulled that. I should have had that document ready. I didn't know I was going to talk about this, but yeah, I go down the rabbit hole looking up. Yeah, sometimes me too. Sometimes, yeah, I definitely go on the rabbit hole sometimes on some topics. I'm about to show you another video really quick to show you how it's just interwoven so heavily that these organizations have to fight against it, especially the ones that have a Jewish foundation in them. Especially the organizations that have a Jewish foundation in it, a Jewish main vein, the skeletal system of the organization is Jewish. They have to fight against it the most. They have to denounce this shit the absolute most. And I just told you the reasons why: humanitarian efforts, ethical issues, religious concerns, and even the how the nationalistic movement moves politically. And I also have a video about that too. Give me one sec. Y'all already know who you talking to, who you kicking it with. Don't go nowhere. We're still breaking down some more pieces to it. It's not gonna be a long video either. This is probably gonna be like a 25-minute run, if that. Because I'm already 19. No, it's probably gonna be a little bit more, maybe like 35, 40. But let me get to this vid really, really quick to put y'all in the game. Boom. There we go. Add it to this. All right, cool. Check this out. Everybody know who this dude is. Everybody know who this guy is. If you don't know who this guy is, this is Ted Cruz, man. This is Ted Cruz. Listen to this. Just listen to this, and we could see how it's interwoven even in Christianity.
In Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Of those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of, it says the nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my. You pull out the phone and use the Google.
It's in Genesis. So you're quoting a Bible phrase. You don't have context for it and you don't know where in the Bible.
Between Rojo and Ted Cruz, I don't know who's worse right now. Just saying shit though. Just saying shit. I learned in Sunday school. So pretty much you was indoctrinated as a youth. Ain't no adults going to Sunday school. So as a youth, you was indoctrinated into something. And as an adult, you never taught for yourself to say, hey, yo, what's up with this, G? Why is this way? I was taught that and I just kept on pushing. Because you're a child and you lived in a child's mind frame. But you're not a child anymore. It's so crazy how children have this knack for just asking questions because they're in the learning phase, right? They pretty much sponging. Kids are asking questions nowadays to adults. But if you don't know, how are you going to answer these questions? He doesn't even know where it is after all these years of being a Christian. On something you stand so strongly on. Shouldn't that be something you look up?
Bible it is, but that's like your theology. I'm confused. What does that even mean?
Tucker,
I'm a Christian. I want to know what you're talking about.
Okay. Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two,
Hold on. No.
You hear it? You hear it. And people don't like Tucker. I personally don't have no static with Tucker, to be honest. I think Tucker be asking some sensible fucking questions at the end of the day, to be honest. I think Tucker just asks sensible questions. And most times, if Tucker is asking you a question, he probably knows the answer to it. That's how slick he really be moving out here. But none of y'all can catch on to it yet. Tucker asks questions in the framework of, I know the answer, but if you have more to bring to it, I'm willing to hear it out. Give me more than I already know. He's asking not in a rhetorical sense, because I don't think Tucker is that rude of a person or that type of asshole, right? Tucker's asking this question. I know, but do you have more information to enlighten me with? That's the energy. That's how I think he's asking these questions in good faith, good conscience, and being genuine about asking a genuine question, right? Good faith arguments. Coming in there with a spirit of yearning to learn more. That's what I think.
Hold on, you're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel. And what
does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
Hold on, define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? This is a majority Christian country.
Define Israel? Do you not know what Israel is? That would be the country you've asked like 49 questions about.
So that's what Genesis, that's what God is talking about.
The nation of Israel, yes.
And so is that the current borders, the current leadership? He's talking about the political entity called Israel?
He's talking about the nation of Israel. Yeah, nations exist, and he's discussing a nation. A nation was the people of Israel.
Is the nation
the
God is referring to in Genesis, is that the same as the country run by Benjamin Netanyahu right now?
Yes.
Tucker is good, bro. Tucker is good. Tucker is really, really good. Another, look at this. Another video about how he's infiltrated the Christian church, right? I think I showed this video earlier this week. Oh yes, I showed this video during the anti-Candace, the baby back biatch boy band. What is it? The baby back biatch boy band. That video. And I showed this video right here. Listen to this. This is a pastor. This is a pastor, right? He comes up as a Zionist. Hold on, let me get it. Alleged.
Mr. Gary Hamrick here from Cornerstone Chapel, inviting.
Is this low? My volume is good on this side. Is the volume good for y'all on y'all end? My output is good. Let me check. It is low, right? This sounded low.
You to a special Wednesday night service where we're going to talk about anti-Semitism. It's on the rise in churches and in conservative politics. Consider Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson. We'll talk about them too. I'll have special guests with me, Pastor Rob McCoy, the leader of Turning Point Faith, Samuel Smadja, from Israel, an Israeli businessman.
Not the Israeli businessman. Look, it is an Israeli business. Operation Walking Faster is an Israeli business, so I respect that. That's straightforward and it's honest. You know, mass. Palestinians is wrong. I feel like that's more relevant, but maybe it's not, because anti-Semitism is now noticing, right? Noticing what we're doing down in Argentina, noticing what we're doing over in Gaza, and not getting into line and letting us get away with it. So it should be riveting. Again, don't know how people are attending these churches other than thinking of it as stand-up comedy.
Do you agree with Candace? Have these...
There go fucking Rojo in the background giving his 2 cents. I guess he agrees, right? Why are Christian pastors preaching about anti-Semitism to their congregation? Furthermore, you want to talk about anti-love. Why don't we just condemn hate? Why don't we condemn hate across the board? For the Muslims, for the Jews, for the Hindus, for the Buddhists, for the Christians, right? Why don't we just condemn hate? What does it specifically has to be anti-Semitism? Another word that's been hijacked by the Zionist. I gotta play it again. They hijacked that word. So now the word has a whole new meaning. So now anti-Semitism just strictly means you hate Jewish people. But when you look at who the Semitic people are, it tells a whole different story, right? The Semitic people are not just Jewish people. And when you talk about Jewish people, those are practitioners of the faith of Judaism. You see how confusing the word game starts to get a little bit? It gets confusing. So I understand how people are confused. I understand that there's a level of ignorance in there. Because it's a trick. It's a mind trick. It's a word game. It's a trickery thing. I completely understand. This dude having a whole conference sermon to talk about anti-Semitism in a Christian evangelical church. If we're talking anti-hate, let's just talk anti-love, right? We're not jacking the anti-love movements. We're not jacking hate. We here to love, worship, pray, and do what we're supposed to do. Why is it specific? You see how agenderized it is for real? I hope y'all can see, man. I really do. And in this climate, I'll be completely honest with you. People really ain't feeling them right now. People really are not feeling them Zionists right now, dog. It's because of how grimy they really get down. Imagine being a full-blooded American. Imagine being a full-blooded American. Your granny, and her granny. Americans. Christians. From whatever denomination. But you're a Zionist. Meaning that the interest of Israel is top-notch priority, not America. Not the block that you live on. Not the neighborhood that your block is in. Not the county that is in. Not the state that is in. Not the country that all that is packed into. But your priority and your main focus and your main drive in life is for a whole nother I'm about to go crazy. For a whole nother country. Thousands and thousands of miles across the sea. Isn't there a word for that type of shit? Okay. It's a mind game. I completely understand. I completely understand how people get confused, man. I do. I really do. When you critique Zionism, how they play the word game is they call you anti-Semitic. They call you a Jew hater. Therein lies the trick. When you're specifically targeting something that Zionism is responsible for and what Zionism has done, how they trick you is due to the tragedy that happened to the people who practice Judaism in Europe. We all know what we're talking about, right? Due to that happening, you can't say nothing about what Zionism is doing, because then the Zionists double back and act like it's Judaism and call you an anti-Semite. They'll call you a Jew hater when they're not even the fucking same thing. Therein lies the trick. Am I pro-Jew? I'm just pro-human. That's it. I'm anti-hate, right? I'm all about love, peace, power, prosperity, respect, humility. That's what I'm about. I'm also about learning and thinking for yourself at the same time. I'm also about using this thing that's attached to your neck, right? More than a hat rack, right? A place to put your scarf. It's more than that. It's a brain in here. Use it. You have the cognitive ability. Why not use it? It doesn't have to be for shit like this. It can be for whatever it is. Reading, writing, maths, science, social. Use it. Activate it. Get it pumping. They're not the same. Zionism and Judaism. One is a government, one's a religion, one's nationalism, one is doctrine. One is about policy and pretty much law and manipulation, while one is about a people and their devotion to God, right? They're a God, Yahweh, right? Different things. One is about having a spiritual connection and identity, and the other one is strictly about power. It's influence versus identity. What could we do in the name of Israel in our Zionistic nature to push and pump Israel to whatever we want it to be, which we know they're trying to make it into this massive global titan, right? And the other one is about somebody having a spiritual identity. Those are different things. They can never be in the same. They can never be the same. These pastors are bringing church and state together, talking about politics. And stuff. When are we at church talking about politics? What is going on? What is going on? What you got for me? It'd be my. I tried to understand. I don't read it. Oh, okay. I won't read it. Okay, I see it. You're a goof. This is the reason why they merge it together, right? And I'm at the 35, so yeah, I'm making good time. This is gonna be less than an hour. But also make sure you like, share, and subscribe it, right? Share it out. Let people know. Share it, send it to your people. They might just be confused. If you was confused at one point, they might still be confused. So send it to them, share it out there, get the information out there, man. And maybe this could spark them to start their own journey of learning information and figuring these things out also. Doesn't necessarily have to be this specific topic, but comprehending that this thing is so easy to be untwisted, right? Look, there's many different topics that probably are also twisted, or many different things that possibly need some clarification in their own mind. So share it out there. Tell your people it's up. turned, but we ain't burnt. You hear me? They use this confusion thing and mixing it and the merger and the funny word games as a form of protection, especially when they use the word anti-Semitic, right? You are anti-Semite, you a Jew hater, automatically. Now remember, the time that we're living in is a time of labels. As soon as you label somebody anti-Semitic, imagine being in the movie theater and it's intermission time, right? There we go, the lights are bike. Why you didn't tell me I had my lights was off? God damn it. And somebody just yells out, "You fucking Jew hater, you anti-Semite." You don't think everybody in that theater finna look at that person? It's literally a scarlet. You know what it is? It's a political scarlet letter. That's what it is. It's the political scarlet letter. Once they brand and attach that to you, the whole place looks at you funny. Everybody look, they little kids, the little chubby ones that you used to make fun of, can't make fun of them no more. Because now you got the scarlet letter on you. You can't say shit. You just gotta sit there and eat crow. Right? You gotta sit there and just eat crow and you just gotta deal with it because you've been given the scarlet letter of anti-Semite, a Jew hater. So they use it as a form of protection, right? So now, once they label you as that, and we talked about labels earlier on this week. No, we talked about labels when we did the Isaac Cappy show. Funny how we keep coming back to this thing. Rojo, calma, chingazo. Now, you can't really criticize them anymore. Because now everything you say after that, after they give you the scarlet letter, and you say, let's say you talk about Netanyahu. Let's say you bring up the war, Palestine, Israel beef and shit, and you just start talking about simple points, the death toll numbers, whatever points you bring up after that. Remember now you got that stain on you. Now you stained. Now you got that stain on you. So guess what happens? Everything you say after that, they're looking at it. They're looking at what you're saying or hearing what you're saying through the lens of an anti-Semite speaking now. And with that in effect, they can control the public opinion of you now. They could try to control how people view you now. So now the thing that you're saying, regardless if it's true and it has a level of potency that's proper and valid, the public might look at you a little bit funny now. That's what they're doing with Candace and Tucker on them right now. That's what Ben Shapiro tried to do to Megyn Kelly the other day when he tried to bang on Megyn Kelly for not condemning Candace. Ben Shapiro, at what point in life did you become the moral guidance to tell people what the fuck to do? And he's a part of the biatch boy band also. Go back and look at the thumbnail. Go back and look at the thumbnail and see who's on there. Bunch of non-testo dudes, just humans with pipes and balls in their drawers. Not an ounce of testo inside of them. Man, listen. So now when these things start to take place, right? The scarlet lettering, the public is looking at you a little bit funny. Now here comes the emotional control, right? The emotional Tasmanian devil shows up because they're confused. They're confused, and when everybody's confused, and they give you a scarlet letter, and now what happens is the accountability for what the Zionists actually did and what the Zionists do and what happened with the Zionists, or your statement that you brought up or the facts that you brought to the table, right? There's no more accountability. Now everybody's still looking at you. So the accountability doesn't go where it needs to go because it was manipulated and perverted. You dig it? That was a lot. Let's check out the video, man. Let's check out the video. People tend to use the word Israel a lot because Israel is the state that the Zionists push for. So they're not talking about the average Israeli person that's just herding goats and cutting grass and selling stuff in the market, right? Those are the citizens of Israel. When they say Israel, from what I've gathered, what I comprehend constantly, they're talking about the Zionist power structures that are in Israel, the Zionist power structures that are in, the world, to be honest. They're talking about the Zionist structure, the Zionist leadership, the Zionist bankers. They're talking about the people who are actively pushing this Zionistic agenda. That's what they're talking about. They're not talking about the average Israeli woman. They got 4 kids and a husband, and she over there on that flat thing with that dough thing, making that bread thing that they like, right? That's not who we're talking about. I had to clarify that one more time because I think just how we speak so fast sometimes, people might think that they're talking about the average everyday Israeli person, and they're not. They're talking to that demonic, evil, the demonic evil entities that really run the Zionistic agenda. That's who they're referring to. Shout out to Kim Iverson over here. Shout out to Candace too for that video. Shout out to Tucker for smoking out Buddy's boots. Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is boy. He's some boy. That boy right there, something serious. There's something wrong with that boy for real. But shout out to Kim Iverson. I'm about to blast through Kim. She talks kind of slow. I think we could push the speed up on this one. Shout out to Kim Iverson.
Pax Judaica. So you say right now we're in a Pax Americana and we're moving toward a Pax Judaica, which is what exactly?
The year 1688, this is the Glorious Revolution. The King of England is overthrown by nobility, and William Orange, who is from the Dutch Republic, he's installed as the king. And this is significant because this creates the sovereignty of Parliament. Parliament is above the king. And what happens next is 1694, the creation of the Bank of England. And the Bank of England are these private interests, transnational capital. And the Bank of England, they are guaranteed by Parliament. And so this creates the idea that these private investors can lend money to the Bank of England. If they make money, they keep their money. But if they lose money, in the Parliament, the people guarantee their losses. So it's socialized losses, privatized gains. So this becomes the new model of global finance. In Europe at this time, the world is in flames. 30 Years' War, Protestants versus Catholics, and all these rich people, Dutch Republic, the Habsburg Empire, Catholic Church, they need to be able to store their wealth in a more safe place as the world burns. And the safest place at this time is of course, England, because it's being protected by the Royal Navy. All this capital shifts over to England, and it's stored in the Bank of England. And this allows for the creation of the British Empire. Britain, with the Bank of England, they're able to finance 7 wars against Napoleon until Napoleon is finally defeated, and then England becomes the most dominant nation in the world. This creates Pax Britannica. And then, after World War I, World War II, this creates Pax Americana, and then you have the creation of the Federal Reserve. But now that America is burning, where do you go now? You go to Israel. Why? Because first of all, Israel has nuclear weapons. Israel will be safe. Second of all, the Middle East has been destroyed. Israel has no competitors. Iraq, Libya, Syria, they've all been burned to the ground. Iran is the last on the list. And so once you burn Iran to the ground, then Israel has complete dominance over the Middle East, and it can be just rebuilt in a new image. And this new image will be one of AI surveillance. So ideas that you have, right, digital currency, digital ID, you're going to face a lot of stiff resistance in America because Americans like their freedom. But hey, the Middle East has been destroyed. You can now replace your populations with Filipinos, with Chinese, with Indians. And then you can insert microchips into the bloodstreams. Now you have this perfect surveillance state where everyone is monitored. Their emotions are constantly being calibrated, being controlled by this surveillance state. And then you introduce transhumanism, where rich people in the world, they can go to Jerusalem and experience all this transhumanist technology, organ transplants that allow them to live 150 years. Capital needs to move to a more safe place, which is Israel. But also, these oligarchs, they want to achieve a transhumanist vision of the world. Israel has this technology. But also, they want to create a surveillance state in order to maintain permanent control of the world, and that's Pax Judaica.
Shout out to Kim over there doing her thing. Boom, 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 boom. Let's blast another Tucker video real quick. I'm already at the 45 marker down. I'm pushing way good on time. Do a Tucker video real quick, and we don't close out really, really quick. Do a quick, maybe a brief run back through over the topics we talked about. But that's it, man. We're rolling soon. Appreciate all the support. Appreciate all the likes. Appreciate the sharing. Appreciate everybody coming in there, hitting the buttons. I appreciate it all, man. I dropped a video earlier on this morning while I was driving around saying thank you, but I'm saying thank you again because I'm live right now again.
Want Gaza in the first place? It seems a lot of trouble killing all these people, committing, atrocities on camera. I mean, the press are barred, but we're still getting a lot of video out of the area. That's a big hit. Why would you be willing to go through all of that to get Gaza? Why do they want it?
The Zionists from the beginning have wanted a greater Israel. And David Ben-Gurion wrote a piece in
David Ben-Gurion is the first prime minister of Israel.
18. And David Ben-Gurion, of course, is the founding father of Israel.
Yes.
Wrote a piece in 1918. I don't think it's ever been published in English. It's just in Yiddish, where he describes what his goals are for a greater Israel. And it obviously includes Green Line Israel, Gaza, the West Bank. It includes parts of the East Bank. It includes parts of southern Syria. It includes parts of southern Lebanon. And it includes the Sinai Peninsula. Just think about that. That was Ben-Gurion's vision. And this was a vision that was shared by almost all the early Zionist leaders. And there are still many people in Israel who are in favor of a greater Israel. They don't want a tiny Israel.
Mind you, they're using the word Zionist. They're not using the word Jewish person, practitioner of Judaism. They're not saying Jew, they're saying Zionist, which tells you there's a difference. That's the whole key, I think, for my whole show today, to give y'all the differences between these things so we could speak and behave more intelligible, right, when we do encounter this madness. I have tons of content about this topic. I'm going to have to do a part 2. I'm realizing now I am going to have to do a part 2. And on part 2, I'll probably bring up Theodore Herzl. I'll probably do the Ben-Gurion. I'll probably do Ben-Gurion. And there's another guy who was a Zionist. And he was also a survivor from the tragedy in Europe that happened to the Jewish people, right? He's a survivor of that tragedy, was a Zionist, and now he's an anti-Zionist. So in life, we could see the error of our ways, or we could see the ignorance in our behavior, the ignorance in our thinking, and we could change. We could see where we were manipulated. We could see where we was taught the wrong things, and we could change and become better in behavior, better in thought, better in speech, and better in action, right? That's a part of what we call the BAR, the bar, right? This is full drinking have thing, and so we use the word bar. The word rab would have been a little bit wonky, or the word arb, right, would have been wonky. I just use a bar, right? And it means behavior, accountability, and responsibility. So what happens first is you have to take accountability. And with accountability, naturally, what happens is you take responsibility. You're accountable for what you've done, and you will be responsible from here on out for what you do, what you do say, how you behave, right? And with those two things in play, you took accountability for it. So you owned it. You said, this is who I am. I was fucked up in the game. I was ignorant. I didn't know no better. I was going off of what I thought was to be true. Cool. You took accountability of it. Cool. Now your responsibility now is to behave better. Your responsibility now is to change. The responsibility now is to, if you're offended, say you apologize and keep on moving, right? If they accept the apology, great. If they don't accept the apology, great. You on your own path to your own betterment, right? And the last part is the B. B means behavior. Your behavior now patterns the first two, because you accountable and you say, I'm going to be responsible from here on out. So now your behavior should reflect the fact that you're now being responsible for your shit. And if I used it in that form, it would be called ARB, A-R-B, right? But ARB wouldn't work on a show called Full Drinkin and everything. So we just call it the bar. I have videos more. Let me see how much videos I got inside the vault. specifically for this. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 videos. I have 16 videos loaded, ready to go. Yeah, W's Lebanese, definitely. Yeah, for sure. It's hell over there in the east, man. It is. It's good. It's going down for sure. All right. And let's just quick recap. Jews are people who practice Judaism, religious doctrine, attachment to the higher power, Yahweh. The Rasta say Jah. Remember, because the letter J is a newer letter, back then, these words were Hebrew words. They were Aramaic words, right? They're Ahramic words, right? Those are the Semitic people who spoke Semitic languages. For real. That's just what it is. So those people who spoke Hebrew and spoke Aramaic and it's another one, begins with a T, and all those people, those are Semitic people because they spoke Semitic languages. They were Muslims, they were Christians, they were Jews, they were just people of that region. Semitic has nothing to do with strictly being Jewish. That word was hijacked by the Zionists. That's my opinion. I like my new alleged sign. I'm gonna fuck with it some more. I gotta make another one too. Look at this though. Let's take a quick glance at this madness that happened over here. This is how warped the world is. This is how warped. Remember I talked about living in America and a Zionist Christian in America being a Zionist, right? Look at this crazy shit right here. And this is not the first video. There's a whole other video of a dude in Texas being pressed down. A whole dude in Texas got pressed by, I think it was county or the sheriff. Somebody pressed him. But look. Lock in. Look and listen.
They bang on the woman's door. They pull out phone and say, this is anti-Semitic. She was merely criticizing the mayor of Miami Beach for what she thought was the mistreatment of Palestinians. It doesn't matter where you are on the Middle East on that particular issue. You are allowed to criticize anyone from this government.
Wait, what happened? So she's criticizing what his position is on
the Palestinians.
And then what did the mayor do?
Well, the mayor sent the Miami Beach Police Department to bang on her door and confront her, but they were investigating her.
Picture to make sure it's you. We're not sure.
Okay.
Is that your account?
I refuse to answer questions without my lawyer present. So I really don't know how to answer that
Okay,
question either
well,
way.
like I said, you're not
This
going
is
to
freedom
jail.
of speech. This is America, right?
And
You're
I,
veteran.
and I agree with you 100%.
Okay.
We're
All right.
just trying to see if it's you, because we're not talking to the right person. We want to go see who the right person
Okay,
is.
how can I help you?
So pretty much it's just a statement that was made as far as,
verbatim, it says the guy who consistently calls for the death of all Palestinians tried to shut down a theater for showing a movie that hurt his feelings and refuses to stand up for the LGBTQ community in any way. Even leave the room when they vote and unrelated matters. Wants you to know that you're all welcome. Clown face, clown face, clown face. 3 days ago.
So you don't know if it was you?
I'm not going to answer whether that's me or not.
Okay.
The concerning part, and not concerning for the person who's posting it, what we're just trying to prevent is somebody else getting agitated or agreeing with the statement. We're not saying it's true or not.
Understood.
That guy who consistently calls for the death of all Palestinians, that can probably incite somebody to do something radical. That's all we're here to talk about. And we wanted to get your side of it. If it was you that posted that, I would think to refrain.
Not what he's saying. It's not what he's saying that could cause harm to the Palestinian people. It's the fact that it's being criticized could cause harm. You see how twisted that is? You see how perverted that shit is? You see how it.
Refrain from posting things like that because that can get something.
I appreciate your concern. I appreciate you coming out here.
Okay,
that's it.
That is it. I'm going to maintain my amendment rights to not answer the question about whether that's okay. I hope that's understandable. Thank you as well. You as well. Thank you.
So she's talking about the mayor, Steve Miner of Miami Beach, who threatened to pull the lease of a local movie theater for showing a movie that was critical of Israel. and she is criticizing him in a Facebook post. Her name is Raquel. I called her 2 days ago, and I said, look, you're a Democrat, I'm a Republican, but I will always defend your right to criticize any government, including ours, including Israel's. That is your right under the First Amendment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's how ingrained this shit. I'm gonna play the video. I'm gonna play one more video and then we out of here. I'm gonna play it. I wasn't gonna play it. I was gonna wait and keep it for part 2, but I'm gonna play it. Stand by. Look how ingrained it is that you have policy enforcers to enforce a policy of another nation in your boy. I'm about to put this video and then we out skis for sure. Is this it? That's not it. That's not it. Where is it? 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 Give me 1 second. It's probably still in the vault. I probably didn't snatch it out the vault yet. Where is it? Boom. Here we go right here. Got it. I don't have the shorter version, but what I will do, I'll speed it up and I'll just get to the point that needs to be made, and then we'll shut it down. Because we got F that week later on. Tonight, we're gonna be really kicking it and shaking off the week. The madness that we deal with, right? We do it all the time over here at FDNHT. You're more than welcome to show up and have a good time with us. Kick back, laugh, and have a good time. This is Kim Iverson again. Kim Iverson is dope as shit. I'm glad that I found her show. We're just gonna get to the point of what we need to talk about, and then we out. Excuse here. Big salute, hit them buttons. Y'all already know it's a love thing from FDNHT. Trin, he and I, nice. Him.
At the Israeli-American Council, billionaires were asked how they buy and influence American politics. And they essentially, Miriam Adelson is a bit mum about it, but they don't deny that this is exactly what they're doing. Now, who are these billionaires? You have Haim Saban. He's an Israeli-American billionaire media executive. He is an extremely influential political donor, specifically to Democratic politics, whereas Miriam Adelson, there on the stage with him, donates to Republicans. So both sides there happily getting along, gleefully chatting about how they buy U.S. politicians, both the left and the right, completely bought off by Israeli billionaires. Haim Saban made his fortune in children's television. You probably know best Power Rangers. He was behind that. He's the founder of Saban Entertainment, co-founded Univision Communication.
Saban, yes. The symbol that shows up, yes, that guy.
He's worth several billion dollars.
I thought it was called Saban, but
gives tons of money to the Democratic Party, extremely close to Hillary Clinton and the Clinton political network. And he says he is a one-issue guy. And that issue for him is Israel. Miriam Adelson, on the other hand, is the wife of Sheldon Adelson, who owns.
He's I think he's dead. I think Sheldon Adelson is dead. So she's not running the show. But if you look in the background, the Israeli American Council. What are we talking about? Why do we need an Israeli American Council? Why the flying fuck is not an American Council? Why isn't it a Texas American Council, California American Council, Minnesota American Council, New Jersey American Council? Like an old person set alarms to take medicine. No, it's not for medicine. Why is there not a Wyoming American Council? Fucking Israeli American. Stop. This is Zionist fuckery, dog. They don't care. You think the Zionists care about the average working Israeli, dog?
Owned casinos, Las Vegas Sands casino billionaires. She's a medical doctor, but her husband owning casinos. Major donor, political donor to the Republican Party in particular, has given hundreds of millions of dollars to Donald Trump, has promised to give him hundreds of millions more if he runs for a third term. She's also a one-issue person, and that is Israel. So when asked, how do you buy and exercise influence over politicians in the U.S., this is what Haim Saban had to say.
We had many sessions here about how important it is to get involved to build a relationship with politicians and to have access. And access and relationship can buy you influence, doesn't mean it's going to buy you. So you both master that. So can you share with us, I want everyone to learn today, how do you start, how do you build a relationship with a politician? I know there is always money involved because
And he says this, you both mastered that, by the way. He says, you both mastered that, like the buying of American politicians. So how do you do it?
Part of the system. But the relationship is not always just about money, because you to have the access and to have the relationship, to create an influence, you need not just the money. So we have 4,000 people here. I want them to hear from the best, you and Miri, about how do you do that?
Well, you just get a guy named Epstein and you blackmail them with kitty porn. That's what you do.
Well, Miri and Sheldon Yeezy Baruch have been much more generous than me. So why don't you turn around and ask her that?
I'm going to ask her, but you both made a lot of connection and made a big influence.
Now, what I gave is this. This is what they gave is this.
But
it's the same principle. I understand what you're asking.
My G, and stepped into the town square again. Big salute, big Kofa. What's happening, my G? What are you talking about today, my boy? Peace, friend. I'll be on later on tonight. You're also try that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I know you got some busy stuff going on over there right now. Hell yeah, bro. Appreciate the support once again for my G. What do you think? I think about imperialism and capitalism. For sure. Oh, I needed that laugh, bro. Good one. Even Rojo laughing at you, bro. Good one. That was a good one.
I want to be cautious it's a system that we did not create. It's a system that's in place. It's a legal system, and we just play within the system. And that.
If you could go back up and read, you got to go back up and read real quick. Buddy said he don't think about the Jewish community. I guess he still think that Zionists is Jews or whatever. I guess he missed the beginning of the show, but it's all right. Why is this funny? I don't get. Yeah, I'm married toward humor. Oh, he's a foreigner. That's why I'm married toward. That's what's up. So because I disagree with you, we go to the name calling. That's real adult. Like that is the most adult thing that happened today. Calling people names because all of a sudden we just circumcise ourselves to being 6-year-olds. Real adult. Like don't smoke them out. Don't smoke them. No. Don't smoke them. Let them be. Don't smoke them. Let them be. Don't smoke them out.
That's it. I mean, it's really quite simple. If you support a politician, you, under normal circumstances, should have access to be able to share opinions and try to help them see your point of view. That's what access grants you. And the contribution and the financial support grants you the access. So, I mean, those that give more have more access, and those that give less have less access. It's a simple math. Trust me.
He's not wrong. It's not really their fault that they're able to do what they do. It's our fault. It's our system. The system's in place and our politicians are up for sale. And that should be very scary to everybody. You know, you got all these champions of Israel first politicians who've been bought off by the Israelis.
Bro, whatever makes you happy, bro. Whatever makes you happy, whatever floats your boat, whatever wake you up in the morning, whatever get you down the road, G. That's you in your life. And you got to answer for that shit. I don't. You smell me? So whatever you decide to do with your life, do it. Ball like a dog. Go crazy. Go on hammers. Wild out.
And, you know, they're just taking the money and saying what they need to say in order to placate their donors. But that donor could be anybody. I mean, it could end up eventually being the Chinese. I'm sure they're figuring it out. The Cubans were very powerful in Florida. Now the Israelis are very powerful in Florida and the rest of the United States. And soon it'll be the Chinese or who knows who else. I don't know. I wish I could predict the future. But it could be anybody. And that is because our system is set up that way. And he's not wrong in that. I do also want to point out, you know, and I wonder if this is lost on the America First, MAGA, we got to build America for America, white America, you know, that crowd. Is it lost on them that these two have accents? I mean, I don't know. Do they realize like these people are from Israel? And yes, they've gained American citizenship, but they've come to this country from a different country. They've gained citizenship and then they use a ton of money And they openly say their one issue is their home country. They infiltrate our country, gain citizenship in order to buy our politicians for the benefit of their home country. That to me is grounds for stripping your citizenship away if we were going to do that. You know, if they're going to talk about stripping citizenship, which they often talk about in that crowd, this would be the first two that you should take it from. But of course, they didn't want to do that because that means they wouldn't get all that money. Now, Miriam Madison was asked the same question. This is what she says.
Remember when Mondani was in NY? Guys, what up, sweetheart? Hope all is well. Hope you're enjoying your Friday. Hope you got your little ass in that kitchen and figured it out too. No, I'm thinking to this Friday, you could just order some chicken nuggets and pizza. We don't do that shit out here. You hear me? We get busy on Fridays too. Peace, girl. Remember when Mondani was running, right? And they was at the debate, and they stood them all there. They stood them all up, all of them. Everybody running for mayor. Boom. Question says the what they call it, the person that runs the question thing, whatever that person, I can't remember the name, what they specifically call him. Let's call him the host. The host says, what would be the first international country you would visit or whatever the case is, right? Tell me why every single one of them said Israel. Let's stop this show. Hello, Messi. How are you doing today? Hope all is well. Did you enjoy your day today? How was work? Did you eat today? What did you eat? Was it hearty? Was it healthy? Did you make sure you get like a little salad and some greenery inside your diet? All right. You have black eyes. So just so you know, I got a fancy. Oh, all right. If you order hibachi, I can live with that. I can live. You know what? You get some. Dog. I don't know how. I don't know, but I do have that video. I already downloaded it. It's ready to roll. I'm gonna play that one in part 2. Part 2 gonna be a little bit longer because I'm gonna use longer videos. But this is gonna be part 1 where the tone is set. So next time I do part 2, people kind of just know what is gonna be lined up pretty much. Yes, that video was dope as shit. Which then that video also proves too that the average Jewish person was just a person that practiced Judaism, right? It's still suffering too, just like the average American. That proves that the Zionists are not Jews, and Jews aren't Zionists, and they could be absolutely diametrically opposed to each other. They don't have to be in the same boat. Just that easy. Zionism is when you believe that there's supposed to be a Jewish state in the Levant. Yes, for sure. So it's not just the Jewish, it's this monolith, like this great titan, right? Because Israel exists. So Israel exists, right, as the HQ of the Jews. But what they're saying is, like, it's called, we just watched the video, they was pretty much calling it a greater Israel. So they want to be this great titan. That's why they beef with everybody in that region. But they can't beef in that region by themselves. So are they really a titan? I'm tracking what you're saying. I think we're on the same page, for sure. And by this definition, what Donnie is I don't trust any of them, to be honest. So at the end of the day, everybody on the panel said, I go to Israel to help the Jewish, whatever. Mondani was the first one that was like, why would I not just be the mayor of New York and help the Jewish people and the Jewish people in the constituency of New York? Every single body else said they would go to Israel, cross the board. Mondani said, I'm not going to go anywhere. And if it comes down specifically talking about the Jew issue, right, the issue with the Jewish people, he said, why would I go to Israel when I have Jewish people living right here in the city that need help? Mondani said that shit, and that was the nail in the coffin, and that proves that the people in this country around the world are waking up to this Zionist fuckery, and they're not fucking with it. That is proof right there. That is why Mondani actually took pace and outpaced them. That is what happened. And we all watched it happen. I had the fucking video stashed somewhere. America is the great Satan. Israel, JS. Oh, Israel is just a little evil bitch. Where are you from, G? Motherfucker said America is the great Satan. I think all countries are Satan, bro. All of them are Satan. They all believe in corrupt and do corrupt shit. So I can't point at one and not point at the other one. That's bogus. I do understand your sentiment, though. I honestly do understand your sentiment.
Both parties want you to believe they're working for the people, but let's be honest, Washington is bought and paid for. Big corporations in Wall Street get bailed out while working Americans get left with higher prices, shrinking savings, and endless promises that never materialize. The system is corrupt, and when it breaks, they won't be the ones paying the price. We will. That's why I put my trust in something outside of their control.
Miri, you and Sheldon created a lot of relationship over the years with politicians at the state level, especially at the federal level. I want you to share with everyone.
Oh, that's Trump homegirl right there for sure. That's Trump homie. That's Trump's homie right there for sure.
Everyone, why is it so important, and how do you do it? Again, writing checks is part of it, but there is more than writing just checks. So how do you do it?
Can you allow me not to answer?
You choose.
I want to be truthful, and there are so many things that I don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
Quick question, G. Over there in Europe, y'all got oh, let's see, it's filthy. Okay, yeah. You see, that's why they didn't tell him to kick you. Because you came in here, you spoke your mind, you said what you were standing at, and I respect it. And now I see that we have a lot of things that we think similarly about, which is dope, bro. Hit the like button, subscribe, pull up next time though in the town square. You're more than welcome, G. I forgot I was about to say it until I read your damn your comment.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want specific, but that's okay. But everyone should know here how important it is to get involved, because the reason that both of you were able to make huge differences is because you got involved and you spent a lot of time and yes, a lot of money on it, but you got involved and you cared. And that's what everyone here need to know, that, you know, complaining and doing nothing is not going to get us anywhere. And you guys have done completely the opposite. So thank you both.
I mean, first of all, what is she talking about that she can't talk about? Okay, that's suspicious. Again, I'm just going to say Epstein again, so we don't forget. Is that what she means? Is, you know, these kind of dark operations of blackmail and other types of influence? That's just beyond money for sure. And right, I mean, openly talking about this is the right way to do it, guys. He's cheering this on. This guy who's leading this Israeli American Council little forum here. This is the way to do it. We got to get in there and buy them up and influence them, and we get them to do what we want them to do for our country. That's what we got to do. I mean, it is wake up, America, wake up. And this is the fruits of their rewards a bit here. Here's
no, for sure. Kim, I'm jacking it. I'm jacking it all the way. You are absolutely on the money with this one. And it's so many examples that we've seen in the past. If we go back 3 years, 2 years, there's example after example after example after example of how, the question was, do y'all deal with the technocrats in Europe? Like, does Europe have like a culture of technocrats? I'm not sure if you know what technocrats are, but so a technocrat is people that are hyper tech in the tech field, right? That also have say so in politics because they do a lot of the funding for campaigns and they get close to the politicians and stuff like that to let technology actually turn out to be this, like the surveillance state stuff that's coming about. That's all tech people inside of that. All these smart IDs, that's tech shit. Even with the Facebook and the apps that we use, all that shit is technocratic stuff for surveillance state activity. You hear me? LC, you already know it's a love thing, girl. Handle your business. We could kick this, but we pretty much get the gist of it. You could go back you could go back last year, start last year, January, go back 12 months, and we could just see no shit how this is so true. Why am I going to Israel? I don't care. Why are we so invested in things that have no benefit to us? There's no benefit. America does not benefit. Share, what's up? Love you back. I saw you earlier. What you got, bro? You said us Europeans, boom, boom, us Europeans and Israel, etc. That's America's little little vessels. The only reason it looks that way, G, because America is the war dog of the planet, right? America is the military strength of the planet. Straight like that. Like you look at Britain, Britain is law, right? Britain is law. You look at Rome, right? Rome is religion. There's high points. I think they call them city states, bro. Like Washington D.C. is a city state. I don't want to get into all that shit right now, but it's what each country or what state is known for. They are the war dogs, big brothers of the planet. It's just been that way since we actually went into these world war scenarios. I do know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're saying, bro. I know exactly what you're speaking on. USA is the hegemony in the world. They maintain the empire through war and sanction. You're not incorrect, brother. You're not incorrect at all. T, what's up, beautiful? That's what they grace. They all Satans, bro. They're all Satans. They're all engaged in the same activity. It's just the fact that America actually got the hammer to swing. At the end of the day, America can actually swing the hammer. That's it. Because in reality of it, how many times America stepped in the war for somebody else? Or proxy war, right? Not necessarily putting boots on ground and sending troops to get active, but just a proxy war in itself, just like we're looking at right now in Ukraine. Just the same shit that happened over there in the Gaza Strip. It's proxy war shit. They're not literally there. They're not literally boots on ground, but guess what? It's still activity going on, and you can see America's thumbprint on it. What you gonna do, right? A lot of people just waking up dead at this motherfucker, G. It's fucked up, yes. Do I stand with it? Not necessarily. Hold on. My button at. Right? Not necessarily, G. But do I comprehend warfare and why things need to shake that way sometimes? Yes. But big salute to you, bro. You're more than welcome to come back and kick it in the town square, bro. I'm glad you referred back to have an intelligible conversation. I'm glad you did that. Big salute to you. I'm trying to remember your name. It's Ebet as damn, that's gonna be hard to remember. As Dequi. As Dequi. Yes, Dequi. Yes, Dequi. All right, I remember it now. Yes, Dequi. All right, I got you. Yo, peace, power, prosperity. Once again, you know it's a love thing from the FDNHT Trin. From here to there. You're more than welcome to pull up into the town square where all is clean and all is love and all is fair. So look at the keyboard. Oh. Good one, G. I see you soon, bro. I fucks with you. I can fuck with you. Y'all know it's a love thing, G from FDNHT. Y'all know for sure. Take care of yourself so you can take care of the people that surround you. Love yourself so you can love the people that surround you. Treat this thing like a marathon because it is life and it's supposed to be long and it's supposed to be hard, but at the same time, it's supposed to be beautiful. You're gonna have those beautiful moments that you're supposed to enjoy and reverence in, right? You can't really sit here and enjoy the sunshine without comprehending what the rain is. You gotta have them both. They gotta be respectful of each other, right? And it's all about your perspective on things that really triggers and really shows your reaction to things. And we've seen some bad reactions already this week and last week, right? And we looking at these things as to where we looking at the thing like them shit just busterized and weird. And we not jacking none of that bullshit, right? Because we all for the betterment. So fix your perspective, right? Look at things clean and pure with the name of respect, right? Remember, you could only ever enjoy the sunshine, for real, if you respect the rain. You heard? I see y'all soon. Tonight, we kicking it. How's that quick? Reading Marxist and Lenin. Like, dog, we just spoke about this shit on my channel about Karl Marx and Hegel and them. We just talked about that. And Lenin. Well, we didn't talk about Lenin, but we did talk about Karl Marx and them. I like the way your brain thinks, my G. Salute to you. But we rolling. Subscribe, my G. Appreciate the love, my boy. Yo, we out, skis. I see y'all tonight. Tonight we fucking off. Y'all already know it. Fuck that week. It's tonight. We kicking back, talking shit, laughing, watching the vids from the vault, having a good time. No more serious shit until tomorrow. And tomorrow I might be on some bullshit too. But y'all already know it's a love thing. Specifically from me to you. From mi casa to su casa. Rojo said the same thing. Rojo said ditto. And we out, skis. Hit them buttons on the way out.